What day is it? Oh, good. That means I was only there for twice as long as I thought I was. I do not have a problem! You have a problem! Hello, my name is Hunter, the movie reviewing pony, because when it comes to cinema, humans cannot be trusted. Seriously, what's up with Hollywood these days? Some may say I praise the Lego Movie a little too much. Whether I use it too much as a comparison with other movies in my reviews, whether it comes up too often, or whether you're one of those stupid people who looks at this as a movie for little kids. If you do that, you're not a good person. You're never too old for Lego. Unless you're 100 years old, in which case the box doesn't actually recommend that. Thing is, though, the Lego Movie did everything right. It didn't do anything to shoot itself in the foot. The marketing campaign was great. The story was original, and it boosted Lego's sales to make them the #1 toy manufacturer in the world. Not to mention, I still can't get this song out of my head. So naturally, the next step was obvious. A follow-up movie. Hey, no, not that one. This one. We're not at the other one yet. This one. The Lego Batman movie, which I was actually a little bit skeptical about when I first saw trailers for it. Cause see, I have a problem with DC. My problem is that they suck. Batman vs. Superman completely destroyed itself with Jesse Eisenberg and whatnot, and Suicide Squad was just terrible. The major problem with the DC movies is that they take themselves too seriously and they will not lighten up. Marvel has a ton of tongue-in-cheek, and let's face it, they have better writers. So you know what? Maybe this Lego movie is what the DC universe needs. So, the Lego Batman movie. Good or bad? After the announcement of the Lego Movie sequel, we were kind of holding out for that. This just sort of came out of left field. I didn't see a lot of trailers for this, though then again, I've been avoiding trailers lately, so can't really say much about that. Though it's already pretty easy to tell that this is by the same people who did the Lego Movie, which is already multiple points in its favor. In fact, they use that as a selling point. From the team that assembled the Lego Movie. You see what they did there, kid? Because it's Lego. It also helps that Lego is just such a recognizable brand. And on top of that, Batman is an incredibly recognizable brand. But I'll go back and say it again. I hate DC. And I didn't know if they were holding a tight leash on this project. But at the same time, they've been pretty lenient with what Lego's done with their brands. And it helps that what Lego does with their brands usually ends up being pretty successful. But then, once again, at the same time, it's DC. And I'm a skepticist. I worry about everything, but I know some people who would wring my neck if I didn't review this film. So, you've been sitting here for nearly 4.5 minutes. Is it a good movie? Fuck yeah!
Fuck yeah!
For too long, DC has been trying to paint all of their characters as these dark and brooding people that no one's liked since The Dark Knight. I'm still not holding my breath for the upcoming Justice League movie, but I'll say this, I did like this movie. And that's saying a lot, considering I was expecting this to be more like a spin-off movie from the Lego Movie more than anything else, but no, it actually feels like its own movie. It's funny, the characters are great, the animation is great, and the story's original, which, let's face it, with all the remakes Hollywood is doing, that's refreshing. It also deviates itself very heavily from other Batman movies. It maintains itself within the realm of Batman, but the multi-franchise thing that LEGO usually has going is actually pretty strong here as well. There's nothing necessarily wrong with that. It's an interesting choice which leads to a lot of creative potential, which, it's LEGO, you gotta be creative with this stuff. You can't just slap bricks together and go, wha-bam, it's LEGO. And the setting, oh, it's like the LEGO movie on steroids. It makes you wish for even more LEGOs to work with once again. Coupled in with the absolutely fantastic stop-motion-esque animation just leads to an absolutely fantastic-looking movie. Now, I said in my LEGO movie review that sometimes the stop-motion animation is difficult to look at, but that was mainly me complaining about what they did with the water, which they fixed completely in this one. And when I say that, I mean they just sort of gave up on the whole water being made out of Legos thing, but then again, that's never looked good to begin with. And really, when you animate it, there's no way you're gonna be able to make it look good. And given what we see in the LEGO Ninjago trailer, it looks like they're gonna continue going with this style of water. And the humor. Oh, the humor. This movie is funny. Oh, it's funny. There's plenty of humor all around, and there's adult-exclusive jokes, which seem to be all over kids' movies nowadays, which we love. We love those.
I've seen you go through similar phases in 2016 and 2012 and 2008 and 2005 and 1997 and 1995 and 1992 and 1989 and that weird one in 1966.
And that's another thing. This movie knows to make fun of itself. Batman really doesn't feel like someone who should be painted in this really, really dark and brooding light. He's been around since the 30s. Let's have some fun. And what better way to have fun than with the biggest toy brand in the world? And I'm gonna quote another reviewer real quick. It's about time Batman lightened up. I get it, Batman has always been this dark and brooding character, but with the way Ben Affleck has been portraying him, maybe he's just a little too dark and brooding. That being said, the cast for this is actually pretty damn good. Though I gotta feel bad for Will Arnett, because it cannot be easy to do his voice for this entire movie. I will say that the cast didn't really stand out with me, except for Will Arnett, actually, because he was Batman in the LEGO movie. So they still got it. The LEGO movie wasn't just a fling. They actually still got it. So what's bad? Well, there is one thing. It does the same thing that the LEGO movie did. It has a really fast-paced opening, and then it slows down exponentially. Only this time, maybe it slows down a little too much.
Not 20 minutes. Stupid.
The slowdown is handled pretty okay, so I'll let it slide, but there are a few moments where we're just like, no, go back to fighting villains. And as a result, the movie seems to crawl at a couple of points. But it does have the same effect the LEGO movie did. It pulls you into the movie. It says, hello, this is our movie. Sit down, shut the fuck up, and watch it. The thing is, though, I'd say that effect is just a little less underwhelming than how it was in the LEGO movie. A little. But then again, this movie does a really good job in the beginning at building itself up. In fact, I'd go so far as to say that this is one of the best movie openings that I have seen in a long time. So, I don't know, maybe it balances itself out with its opening. There is one thing that I can't actually look past in this movie, no matter how hard I try to look past it. This movie seems to be riding off the success of the LEGO movie and some of the things that were established in the LEGO movie. As a result, it doesn't really feel like the movie could stand on its own. You could probably go into this without seeing the LEGO movie, but you'd get more out of it if you saw the LEGO movie first. Which is kinda disappointing because you'd think something like this wouldn't be connected to the LEGO movie story-wise at all. And even though it can stand on its own, it still feels more like a spin-off movie than anything else. But you know what? You can easily look past all of these problems, and it still ends up being a really good movie. It's fun, funny, inventive, and as touching as it needs to be, and no more. So, what's my final verdict on this insanity? 9.6. Only a few points behind its predecessor. This is one of the good ones. One of the really good ones, and considering the direction Hollywood's been going, that's a relief. It sets itself apart from the regular DC norm, which is terrible. It retains all the things that made the Lego Movie good, and it expands upon that. It's not more of the same, it branches off, it tries new things. It doesn't ride solely off of its predecessor, the Lego Movie. Which, going into this movie, that's what I was expecting. But I can safely say it's exceeded all my expectations. And I'm a skepticist, so I wasn't expecting that much out of the movie. My advice, check this movie out. If you've seen the Lego Movie and liked it, you'll definitely get enjoyment out of this. If you haven't seen the Lego Movie, you may still enjoy it. My name is Hunter, and this has been a Hunter Review.